you are ready, you may start.
Good morning. My name is Meryl Furedi. This is Joseph Zuda and Michael Clay. We are at the Human Resources Department for DISH Network. Today we are addressing the ethical concerns surrounding a zero-tolerance drug policy as it relates to medical marijuana use in states where it is currently legal. Specifically, the concerns that we will be addressing are employee empowerment in the workplace, employee privacy as it relates to their medical decisions, and the human right to make personal choices. In 2015, a DISH Network employee was fired for medical marijuana use as the result of a random drug test. Brandon Coates is a quadriplegic with MS who was using medical marijuana to treat the muscle spasms that are a symptom of his condition. He has stated that while he has tried many different types of painkillers, medical marijuana is the most effective treatment with the fewest adverse effects. Mr. Coates was a productive and valuable employee and had recently been promoted because of his workplace performance. The termination of his employment was not due to any detrimental behavior in the workplace. He was terminated entirely because he failed a randomly administered drug test that is given to 50% of DISH Network's workforce each year. In order to avoid a repeat of these circumstances, we are proposing that drug testing only occur in case of on-the-job accident due to probable cause or prior to employment. In addition to this change, we propose that medical marijuana users who are using their prescription responsibly and not on company time or property will not be subject to drug-related discipline. To empower a person is defined as to promote the self-actualization of a person. Therefore, creating an environment which empowers our employees will encourage them to reach their full potential in the workplace. The option to treat their ailment as they see fit within the boundaries of the state law and not to have to worry about how this personal choice will affect their career empowers the employee. And studies have shown that there is a direct positive correlation between employee empowerment and efficiency in the workplace. Studies have also shown that 40% of people who quit their jobs each year do so because they feel a lack of empowerment in their job. Promoting empowerment in the workforce will decrease employee turnover and put DISH Network on the path to being considered a preferred employer. Empowerment in the workforce then promotes intrinsic motivation in our employees. Intrinsic motivation is a positive attribute for our employees to have because it will lead the employees to work efficiently with each other towards a common goal and promote the welfare of the corporation.
As Meryl just described, our overall vision is to create a workplace that is both safe and enables our employees to feel empowered. This involves creating policies where they have the authority to make decisions about their personal work lives to the extent that it's not affecting work performance or workplace safety. We as a company want to respect our employees as more than merely a means to an end. We want to respect them as the individuals that they are. We want to allow them to live their lives as they see fit for themselves. To create such a workplace that allows people to make their personal choices, we must allow them to make decisions free of coercion, exploitation, and manipulation. To disrespect people's personal choices and disregard their desires would harm their morale. Our employees that choose to use medical marijuana as a treatment plan should not be forced into using any alternative plan that they don't feel comfortable with. Research has shown as a standard medical treatment, opioids, has led to nearly 19,000 deaths every year due to overdose. Marijuana, on the other hand, has not been shown to lead to any deaths as a direct overdose. This statistics comes from the Center of Disease Control, and they also had stated that individuals who are addicted to opioids are 37 times more likely to use heroin than that of the marijuana counterpart. This information has led us to conclude that not allowing employees to choose medical marijuana as a treatment option has instead forced them to use opioid painkillers, which, as I have indicated, are much more harmful. We do not intend to encourage the use of marijuana. We simply want to avoid coercing our employees into doing anything that's unnecessary or that they feel is unsafe. Allowing the option for a proven, viable alternative treatment plan that does not affect our employees' work performance is something we suggest be permitted by adopting our policy. Another unintended consequence of disregarding this alternative is that we would be reducing the pool of possible future employees. A work environment that is based on ethically questioned biased decision-making will not attract the more desirable employees, and we believe that our proposed policy will remove any biased reasoning. Additionally, there is circumstantial evidence to show that America is moving towards accepting medical marijuana as a treatment plan on a federal level. If that does occur, we will be forced to revisit this policy, backtracking on decisions and further hurting our employees' morale. If instead we go ahead with this proposal, we will be seen as a forward-thinking company who cares about its employees and our stakeholders. And isn't this the image we want for our company?
Joe just described the benefits of employees making personal choices. I would like to add that we believe there are circumstances that call for restrictions on a person's choices. It is permissible to place various restrictions on a person when their personal choices would put another individual in a potentially harmful or even uncomfortable situation. But this was not the case with Mr. Coates. His dismissal was a direct result of a random drug test revealing his prescribed medical use of marijuana. This was repressive because we have arbitrarily made a guideline that isn't based on an objective set of principles. We have evidence to suggest that cannabidiols are a viable treatment for employees seeking medical help for their alleviation of neurological issues. So the evidence around his termination was not necessarily verifiable. Another ethical dilemma we're dealing with is an employee's right to privacy. The right to privacy is defined as a person's right to control information about herself. Individuals have a right to their privacy. It is unethical to demand private information of our employees when their actions do not justify that we breach that privacy. When Mr. Coates was terminated, he wasn't fired because he didn't satisfy his practical job requirements. He was fired because of the stigma that surrounds marijuana. Random drug testing results in a loss of privacy, is damaging to the employee's reputation, and can cause emotional distress to the individual when it isn't necessary. Drug testing does not evaluate an employee's productivity or efficiency. If an employee is inefficient, the inefficiency is addressed, regardless of whether or not it is a direct result of medical marijuana. We want our employees to feel comfortable in the workplace, and through random drug testing, it's difficult to achieve this. Our knowledge of activities outside the workplace for any given employee should be limited to how that knowledge affects their ability to perform the essential duties of their job. Otherwise, how an employee spends their time away from work, it's up to them as long as it doesn't return with them to the workplace. Technically, in accordance with federal law, we're not necessarily required to forbid the use of marijuana, nor are we required to permit the use of it. However, we feel that we have an ethical duty to not coerce our employees, nor should we infringe on their privacy in an unnecessary fashion. We feel that not changing our policy to the way we are proposing it will put us down a path that we do not wish to take.
We are proposing that we remove random drug testing from our policy and allow employees who are not in high-risk positions to use medical marijuana as long as they are legitimately prescribed this treatment option and do not use marijuana on company time or property. We believe that this course of action promotes empowerment in the workforce and promotes intrinsic motivation, while also allowing us to respect the individual's privacy and their right to choose how to treat their medical conditions. Ultimately, we want to update Dish Network's drug policy to stay up to date with current movements in the country. We feel that the updates that we have proposed will initiate and uphold a culture of ethical practices and respect for our employees' choices. Thank you.
Very good. Again, as I mentioned to the other team, it was not viewed that you were reading everything, but as soon as you, and the better you are with not having your props, I can tell you the more receptive you will be, especially in the corporate environment. They're looking for you to come in and really know it. And as Tom White and I have talked about, this entire process is to get you to synthesize your message down to as direct and to the point as it can be. What you will find a lot of times is in the real world, you may get in and get one word in, and the rest is totally off script. So, job well done. I had one concern with the policy, and I may have missed it, and tell me if I did, whether the policy had stated to the employees prior to coming that they would be subject to random drug testing.
Currently it does, yes.